Alright, your Noticore equipment services mini rail train model RT1 operation maintenance manual reorder NES 5101 last revision A. Alright, August 2012. Read and fully understand the precaution came with the manual before operating and servicing the machine. Refer to section 1 with the important safety information components. Troubleshooting can be found with the color pages behind each tab. This manual is a guide for operators from the routine maintenance of the Nordico equipment service the machine with the correct cover the product, the technical information, basic operation maintenance procedure with the safety information provided with the use of the qualified personnel, supervised operators service of the equipment described herein. The measurement of the manual are given in both metric and customary units equivalent. Personal responsible for the operation maintenance of the equipment should thoroughly decide for the manual before commencing the operation maintenance procedure. Manual should be considered with a permanent part of the machine and should remain with the machines at all times. Additional copy of the manuals are available either as part of the operational maintenance only the whole operation part of the nominal cost for those the part sales of the department of the additional service information parts application information available to these Nordico products or port resources, which also have the any of the common suggestion of the manual with the that lets us here with the BU with where all here to be serviced with the customer direct comment requires the Nordico equipment service the customer service 107 North US Highway 45 Aricole, Illinois 619102172684823. Hazardous material and effort to provide information necessary for the employee safety training with the program to meet the requirements of OSHA. Handle hazardous communication standard 1910-1200. We use the OSHA Form 20 safety dash sheet available for the covered material to contain within this machine. If interested in receiving the information, please refer to the name, model, serial number of the machine. Recalling or writing the directory or inquiries in Nordico equipment. New customer service 107 North US Highway 41 Article, Illinois 61910 216-268-4823. Alright, safety. If you read to comply with all these safety precautions manual before operating machine, they generally do not use the machine within the operation with relation with it is not intended Nordico service that is not responsible for any modifications made with the authorization written without authorization written approval to play for the Nordico equipment service the OEM parts with the genuine Nordico equipment service the OEM parts used with the non-OEM parts for the good compromise safety of the machine. For FR regulations comply with or requires to comply with the operation maintenance cap with the machine at all times. Additional copy of the operation manual only can be ordered with the Nordico equipment service the for the 1-800-64-1724. Following safety instructions, to carefully read all the safety messages of the manual, learn how to operate with the machine, how to use the controls properly, but do not let anyone operate with the machine without instruction. Failure to understand the contents of the manual could result in serious personal injury or death. Safety alerts symbols. These safety alert symbols are a means of the pay with attention to risk. Safety risk are the white, red, and white exclamation point. Dangerous. You've indicated defined definite hazard situation which could not be avoided with the result in severe bodily harm or even death. Alright, the orange warning sign is to indicate the potential hazard situation which could could result in severe bodily harm and even death. The caution sign gives yellow is caution indicates the potential hazard situation which is not avoided may result in minor or moderate injury. The notice symbol in blue and white formally caution without the safety of the exclamation point means failure to follow the alert may result in machine damage. And a green safety means the following points of the instruction of the safety operating the machine specific component of the machine. Alright, safety. General safety tips. Untrained authorized personnel should be allowed to operate with the machine. In addition, with all personnel work sites should be aware of the safety concern with their individual responsibility prior to working the machine. Safety. Wear the safety goggle with safety glasses or goggles. Wear good fitting hands for the shirt. No baggy loose clothing. Wear a hard hat. Wear leather gloves to protect for the hands of vibration or metal with particles. So use safety-toed work boots. Safety prior to the working. All personnel with the work site with the gang should be aware of the safety concern for their individual responsibility prior to working with the machine. Safety. Review the operating instruction. You ensure anything the pre-operational checklist check with the machine. The obvious for the fault with the repair and replace if necessary prior to operating with the machine. The equipment is not designed to be climbed down onto or ridden on. Know that the working weather forecast lining the work accordingly with the rain has an effect on the speed of the rollers of the machine. Inspect for the safety decals. Replay for the becoming unreadable with the damage. See safety decals and the safety section. Safety while operating. Safety. If the person stands near the machine, give them during the operation, give the warning signal, use the air horn. If they fail to respond to the warning, stop the operation immediately. Halt the work if possible. Strong the range, fogs, extremely dusty conditions can affect visibility of the work area. Wait for the weather to improve before continuing work. Safety while parked. Never stop and park with the equipment on the incline unless the wheels have been in shock. Safety during the maintenance. Following guidelines are suggested when performing maintenance. Safety. Always check the wheels. Alert all the area with the surface of the maintenance being performed in the machine. 3. The welding precautions of the machine. Pay attention to the minimum prior to the welding. 4. Kits supplied with the Nordico equipment system services have welding instructions include welding on the components not on the Nordico equipment services manufacturer. Failure to follow these instructions may affect the stability of the machine. Alright, your machine alert, safety, danger alerts. Improper use of the equipment attained with the operation causes serious injury or death. Serious injury or death can result from the reaching of into the working components while the machine is running. Do not ride on the tow bar between the machine and the towing vehicle. Falling from the moving wheel may cause serious injury or death. Machine alerts and warning alerts. Failure to gauge lock-up devices before propelling the treble speed can result in the injury, personal or extensive damage for the machine. Remove the hose fittings only when the system is not pressurized. High-pressure leaks can cause personal injury. Also, turn off the machine. Perform the maintenance. Make adjustments whenever the unintended move of the machine could occur unless directed otherwise. Failure to comply with could result in the personal injury and/or damage of the machine. Lockout and tagout procedure. The following list of the suggested lockout procedure of the component of the machine. For the required lockout due to the source various form for the entry. If the company responsible for the lockout and tagout procedure based on this list and trained with the proper safety, you periodically inspect your work area. Verify complying with the procedure. Lockout, tagout procedures must be followed. Nordico Equipment Services provide the means of lockout the machine. The Nordico Equipment Services cannot be held responsible for the injury used by failure to comply with your company's lockout and tagout procedure. See the next page for the suggested lockout, tagout procedure list. Alright, lockout, tagout procedure. The following procedure is designed to lead the operator through the steps required to shut the machine down, preparing to perform the mechanical maintenance work. The procedure for the release potential dangerous storage engine form the machine safety to begin repair. Safety procedure of lockout, tagout. Apply the brakes and disconnect the glad hands between the mother machine and the hold down cart. And note that this release or pressure of the normal release of the brakes by relieving the pressure high energy spring applied with all 4 brakes. 2. Shock the wheels to prevent accidental rolling with equipment on the grade. General, the manual contains operation manual with the information for the mini rail train model RT1 with the manufacturer's Nordico equipment service for the Arco, Illinois information of the regarding the operation manual of the operation equipment maintenance parts of the Nordico manufacturer can be found with the back of this manual with the behind the tab and marked out component data. Become familiar with the safety instructions, controls, and instruments before operating the machine. Follow the element instruction carefully about this machine. The manual has been broken down into section which have been separated in index tags, mechanical individual parts, breakdown, drawing list, and each of the assembly, pneumatic install, adjusting instruction, roll shooting of the air pneumatic system, and the power piping function, drawing standard machine with the operational equipment. Component data includes part breakdown, service instruction components installed on the machine that are not Nordico manufactured. The section has been expanded upon and also broken down into tab section. Specifications: model is the RT1, the gross weight lead anchor cart with 1,380 pounds, the cart with brakes 1,343 pounds, cart without brakes 1,210, maximum capacity per cart 15,000 pounds, length 4 feet, width 6 feet with 10 inches, wheelbase 3 feet, travel speed 10 miles per hour, rated drawbar pull on the rail 15,000 pounds, pneumatic system pressure release on the machine, towing carts 13 cubic feet a minute at 120 psi, wheel brakes, wheel size type 10 inches hardened, brake type pneumatically applied air to the 2 wheels, style 4 wheel. Approximate weight, actual weight according to the options for the machine. Actual weight of the machine is stenciled. Alright, general, this page is intentionally left blank. Operation, the hold down cart closest to the main machine, roll cart with brakes, roll cart without brakes. Alright, Alright, do not use the equipment of the operation that then for which other than which is intended for that. Require the copy of the operation manual with the kept equipment at all times. Additional copy of the operation may can order with the Nordico part sale with the 1-800-647-1724. Carefully read all the safety manual for the manual details located through the equipment. Learn how to operate with the equipment and how to use the control properly. About this equipment, the rail train is capable of moving the maximum of 8 rails at a time. The carts are designed to handle the specific weight. The rail size is 136 pounds can be used with this cart. Longer rail, more than roller carts without the brakes are required. The rail or number that consecutively should be assembled in numerical order behind the host of the machine, supplying the pneumatic power of the carts. The carts are together with a high-speed travel to the job site. Used for the tow bars supplied with each for the car on the job site. The tow bars are removed and stored. The carts are moved to the correct space for the length of the rail being moved. Caution: maximum distance between the carts is 40 feet, and anything more than that will cause the load to become unstable. There are 3 types of carts: hold down cart, brakes with brakes. Number 1, roller cart with brakes, and roller cart without brakes. These carts are assembled with a host machine in order to show and above the longer the rail that transported you with the carts have more brakes required. Or pneumatic hose provided with the carts allow the carts to be spaced 40 feet apart in the train. The suggestion of the pneumatic hose is to be tied off with the spine rail with the center of the rail holding the carts together. Use the cable ties in the event of the rail car and become the disconnect with the host machine during the travel. The glad hand connection is provides fail-safe the application of the brake system on the carts. Multiple cars throughout the train should have the rail bound with the carts meet with the train with the air and binder. All the rails may move not slip off the train due to the sudden stop or start. The carts with brakes are hosed in the series with the emergency and the brake side set up with the free flowing of the air fillings. Any with the giving them with the cart become separated with the air will blow down, setting brakes on all the carts approximately 70 psi with the air pressure relief of the brakes enough that the travel the optimum air pressure with the run is 125 psi. The air pressure is needed to relieve the brakes. The surface side of the pedal side of the brake system set up with a quick exhaust valve to apply with the brakes too slow with the train will quickly dump out with each of the cars so movement can occur more rapidly. Always operate the control speed never exceed 10 miles an hour. Travel without rails. Or this shows the hold down cart. The hold down cart is over the first cart over the train. The cart is always numbered number 1 of the side on the side of the cart. The holding guard with the no rollers is usually to hold the rails during the travel. The rails clamped to the cart, even though rail clamps are shown. Alright, the car without brakes. The roller cart with the brakes contain 8 rollers with the center pin holding the cars together. The cart has the braking shift to connect with the hold down cart though through the series of the red blue hose is connected with the glad hands. These carts always follow the hold down cart roller car without brakes. Your roller cart without brakes is identical with the roller cart brakes exemption that has no braking compatibility. There are at least the last car of the train to determine the amount of the carts needed. If it is always required that none of the amount of the cars you will need, the distance between the carts allowable to refer to the chart of the following pages that require cart requirements for the capacity. The first chart you determine the space of the cart based on the rail side of the amount of the rails being transported. The second chart tells you how many carts you will need to be based. The amount of the carts the brakes include the hold on carts should be matched with the amount of the carts without brakes. If you need 20 carts for the length of the rail, you will need to hold down the cars with the brakes, from 9 roller carts with brakes and 10 roller carts without brakes. This shows the 40-foot spacing of the number of the rails being moved and should indicate the splines. Rail size 90, 100, 115. 40-foot section weight shown includes spine rails 1 through 8. 35-foot pole, number of the cars being railed shown included spine rails, rail size number 190, 100 through 155, 35 section weight 1 through 8, spine rails, number of the rails being moved. Rail size number 90 through 155, 30-foot section, 30-foot spacing, number of the rails being moved 1 through 8. Or set up on operation, number of the carts required, spacing, rail length and carts. Alright, set up before the carts can be put on the rail. The correct rail gauge is selected with the wheel axle accordingly. With the rail gauge adjustment, the rail train cart will be adjusted to work on the 2 different gauges, the 56.5 or 66-inch gauge, 56 foot and a half gauge, and then the 66-inch rail gauge on the bottom. If you see the hole of the axle shaft of the inside of the car frame at the mains for the gauge is set at 56.5. To reset the 66, you will need to lift one side of the car off the rail to remove the bolt assembly holding the axle shaft. Place slowly slide the wheel assembly until the inner hole can be seen, and reinsert the bolt and assembly and repeat the procedure for each of the axle. These bolts are need to be torqued. Transportation side. Please place the car on the rail in the following order. Hold down the cart with the brakes. Number 1, roll carts with the brakes and roller carts without brakes. Insert the tow bars between the cars and how to tow to the site. Setting up the cars require the minimum of 2 workers, one over the command station with the host of the machine, the other walking alongside of the train over the carts. Once you have near the area where the rails will be lifted onto the cart, so you will begin removing the tow bars, separating the carts as follows. Stop the hoist of the machine as far as the cart and over the train. Remove The tow bar, leave the cart in place. Signal with the command of the host of the machine to remove the remainder of the so that the distance between the cart is distance determined by the side of the length of the rail. Stop the host machine. Repeat the steps through for the forward and until the roller carts with the brakes. Move the tow bar and stop the two pneumatic hose glands and connectors on the cart. Signal with the command of the host of the machine to move the machine to the next location. Bring other end of the hose with you. Stop the host machine. Move the tow bar. Connect with the hose of the previous cart and the new cart. Then install the new hose and connect the new next cart with 3 repeat steps 11 through 9, each for the roller cart with the brakes until they reach for the hold down cart. Stop the host machine. Cut the pneumatic lines between the host machine. Hold down the cart. Play for the rail length of that being transported down the center of the line. Set carts. Tighten the spine clamps on each of the cart. Connect the pneumatic hose with the glad hands with all the brake carts into the host machine. If necessary, use the cable ties to hold the pneumatic hoses off the ground when the shopping short cart spacing is needed. This shows up to 40 feet between the carts maximum, carrying a rail. Alright, this is a picture. It shows we'll start at the braking chamber. Number 2, brake arm, your part of frame, the hex jam nut, the yoke end of the clevis, your brake pin, cotter pin, safety alert frame. Your brake shoe is on the back side. The bolt, the SA high color walk washer has high nut. On the other side, you'll see the single side rail clamp, dual sided rail clamp, the main hold cart frame, wheel axle bolt, nylock nut, the rail wheel bearing cup, oil seal, lock nut washer, external lock washer, oil ring. Wheel dust, fill head screws, SAE flat washer, cotter pin, brake arm shaft. In this drawing, you see the brake arm, brake chamber, the brake arm, the brake pin, the cotter pin, the SA flat washer, your hex nut, yoke end with the clevis pin, the brake shoe, the bolt, the roller shaft, the spring side rail clamp, the roller assembly, including the bearings, bearing and nut, and surface items. The brake arm shaft, cotter pins, flat washer, wheel dust cover, the head cat screw, socket screw. Roll ring, external tooth washer, lock nut, rail wheel bearing cup, and oil seal, and I lock nut, bolt, wheel axle, rail cart with brakes and frame on the frame. This is another picture. Shows the bolt, roller shaft, single-sided rail clamp, rollers including the bearing down, surface item, the wheel discard. This figure 3 rail cart without brakes, wheel dust cover, flathead socket screw, oil ring, external tooth washer, oil seal, bearing cup, rail wheel, nylock the wheel axle, hex IH high collar lock washer, SA roller cart without brake frames. Alright, this shows a wiring schematic. Number 1 is your brake quick exhaust. 2 is the 224 brake chamber steel, brake line coupling, and female thread pushing out. This is a air brake schematic. Another air brake schematic. This number 1 is your standard glad hand blue. Number 2 is your standard glad hand red 1.5 inch MPT 3/6/8 inch push rod hose bar. Number 4. Number 4 with a number 3. Number 4 general purpose hose blue 3/8 inch 5 inch outside diameter 40 foot. Number 5 general purpose hose red 3/8 inch inside diameter 58 outside diameter 40 foot. This has been a reading of the mini rail train model RT1 operation maintenance manual, Nordico Services.